Hey, it's Meredith here, and you're listening to the Thriving Creators Podcast. This is a video podcast on my YouTube channel, and I'm not super consistent with it, but I'm trying to kind of get in the habit of having a dedicated podcast YouTube video podcast on my channel. And this question about sponsorships and working with brands comes up a lot inside Thriving Creator Society, which is my membership program. And every once in a while I get emails or DMs asking me about working with brands and how does that work? How do you get started? How much do you charge? And really, help me out, Meredith. What do I do here? So I want to do a bit of a review of the course Brand Deal Wizard from Justin Moore. And I like to think of this as my version of Take It or Leave It. And I'm going to give you my honest feedback, my honest opinions, who that course is for, who it's not for. And also I'll tell you, full disclosure, I'm an affiliate. So I put a link to the program in the description of this video / podcast. So if you want to check it out, you use my link, I get a bit of a commission from Justin, which I appreciate very much. And if you don't want to use my link, that's okay too. It's completely up to you. So if you're not familiar with this guy, his name is Justin Moore. I've seen him all over Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, even TikTok a little bit here and there. Justin is a sponsorship coach. He's the founder of Creator Wizard and this course, Brand Deal Wizard. Justin and his wife have had a family YouTube channel for a long time, and he has a ton of experience working with brands in that space as a content creator himself. And he's kind of using his platforms now and his program to educate other creators in working with brands. And so I wanted to kind of tell you from my perspective as a YouTube creator what my experience has been with the Brand Deal Wizard course and why I invested in it initially to begin with. So I'm going to kind of give you my thought process here. So if you've never heard of the Brand Deal Wizard course before, then this video is for you. If you came here because you are looking for a review of the course, I'm going to tell you up front, if you're thinking of investing in Brand Deal Wizard and you're looking for a review to talk you out of it, this is not going to be that. Because honestly, I think if you've reached the point where you feel like it is a good investment in your business and you feel like you are going to get your money back, then you probably are. It probably is a good investment for your business. I'm not here to talk you out of it, but I will give you some kind of thoughts and ideas around whether it may or may not be right for you. And if you're here because you're looking for a review and somebody telling you yeah, go ahead and pull the trigger, I think I just did. I think, yeah, go ahead and pull the trigger. But one of the biggest questions or sort of conundrums when you're thinking about buying a program that is on the pricier side. I mean, relatively speaking, to me, when I purchased Brand Deal Wizard, I think the price was $1,000, and it's a little bit higher than that now. And that's not just a drop in the bucket for most people. It wasn't a drop in the bucket for me either at the time. But let me just kind of explain to you my thought process here, because I have taken other courses and programs from Brand Deal sponsorship people that have been really, really great and really insightful for getting started with brand deals. And I was in this spot where I had a brand in my inbox who was like, hey, we want to work with you. We want you to create 3 videos and we'll pay you X amount of dollars. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good rate. I don't know if I should do it. I kind of want to work with the brand, but I don't know. And I just wanted somebody to tell me how to respond. I didn't necessarily want somebody to make the decision for me, but I wanted somebody to tell me, okay, here's how you respond to this. Here are the questions to ask. And so I feel like we're in this space as content creators now where working with brands and sponsorships, it's not as voodoo as it used to be. Is voodoo the right word? It's not as like a dark art as it used to be. Now I feel like it's a pretty common thing. Most people know what it is and they know a little bit about how it works, even if they don't necessarily know how to do it for themselves. And so I kind of felt like, even though I know how brand deals work, I kind of want an updated, like, am I doing this right for the time in which we are living currently today? So, this is kind of funny, and I probably had never told Justin this, but, I had this like image in my head of like, I feel like I've seen a guy with a wizard hat on Twitter talking about brand deals. Who is that guy? What is his name? And I couldn't remember anything. It's just, I had this like image in my head of a guy with a wizard hat talking about brand deals. So I went to Twitter and I scrolled for a little bit and I was like, boom, that guy right there. And it just so happened that his program was open. I didn't watch his webinar. I wasn't in his launch or anything like that. I just like went to Twitter to like find the guy with the wizard hat. And luckily the course was open. The program was open, and looking at where I was at with my audience and where I could charge for brand deals and for like the brand that was in my inbox currently waiting for me to email them back, I thought, you know what? This is a no-brainer. Like, just get the course so you understand what to do and the best way to move forward with working with this particular brand. And it's going to pay for itself with the first brand deal that you get, Meredith. Like, it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to like figure out that's a good deal, right? And so that was kind of the thought process for me. Is this worth paying for? Is this worth the money? Am I going to get it back? Right. And of course, if you're learning how to generate revenue with sponsorships and brand deals and you follow the steps, of course, you're going to get it back. For me, with the first brand deal that I did after taking the course, I made my investment back. And so therefore, it really has just become a resource that I go back to now that I know all of the steps and I know that I'm doing it right and I know the questions to ask. That's one of the biggest things that I just felt like I would want to do it right, and I want to know what questions to ask. And Justin's course really, he really gives you all of the resources for that, with a bunch of examples, stories, tons of examples and stories from brand deals that he's done personally and helped like clients and students with over time. So if you are totally completely new to sponsorships and working with brands and that kind of thing, step number one, go follow Justin on YouTube and Twitter. If you're into Twitter, he tweets a lot, but go follow him on YouTube, TikTok, Reels. And I honestly think you will get a ton of value out of his just regular, free content that's out there. I think he has a podcast too. I don't think I've ever listened to it. And he has a free masterclass on the 8 steps to landing consistent, well-paying sponsorships. So I'll put a link to that down below. It is an affiliate link, but the masterclass is free. So take it, consume it, take the tips, do something with it. Yes, you could take all the free content in the world. The thing about free content is like, if all we needed was free YouTube videos and just like free content that's out there to be successful at things, then we would all be successful at things. We would all be successful if watching videos on YouTube was the way to be successful, right? And so the most value I got out of the Brand Deal Wizard course, like I already mentioned, is am I doing this right? Am I saying the right things? Am I asking the right questions? So the course itself is, I went through it with a live cohort, but I think you can get it as just recording, so you don't have to wait for the next time the doors are open. So it's 4 weeks. Justin has very entertaining lessons, but also very informative. It's very organized. It's very well thought out, and like step by step. The step by stepness of it is incredibly useful because you're getting resources, PDFs, like here's what to ask, here's exactly what to ask. When a brand emails me and says, hey, we want to work with you, blah, 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 there's always this question of, but do you have a budget, or like what exactly is this product, or like why do you think I'm the right fit for this, or like there's all these questions that kind of come up that start with, do you have a budget? And how you ask that question, it can be like a little bit tricky because sometimes they just want to know, well, but what do you charge? And so the navigating of those conversations, Justin gives you the resources for that, because you're just a human being having a conversation with another human being. But if you don't know how that conversation can flow in your favor, then you're not the one making out the best on the brand deal. Do you know what I'm saying? It should be the best deal for both you and the brand, and the resources Justin gives you helps you make sure that you do that, because you're not a brand deal wizard, right? That's why you take the course. If you don't have the experience, then how would you know? How would you know how to ask the questions, or how to negotiate rates, or how to even set your rates or figure out what they are? So how do you know if Brand Deal Wizard course is for you? Here's what I would say. If you are an existing content creator and you have content, you create videos, you have an audience, and it's not just about having views or subscribers or having videos. I think if you feel like, if you can say you have an audience, you have created a niche, which is a space that you create for your audience, where you're a trusted source of information, you have a community. I don't think it matters the size. It definitely doesn't matter the niche or the topics that you create videos about. I feel like there's a brand deal in there for everybody. I don't think it matters so much the size as it does matter the understanding of who your audience is, the value that you bring to your audience, so that you can communicate that value to brands that want to work with you in a sponsorship capacity. So if you're totally brand new on YouTube and you're going to start a YouTube channel today and go out and get sponsors, I don't think this course is for you. But I would say if you have at least, I don't want to give it like a subscriber count, but I feel like if you have at least 1,000 subscribers, you should definitely be consuming Justin's content, his free content at the very least. And when you start to get some revenue coming in from other sources, like affiliate marketing, for example, or if you have your own courses, programs, consulting services, if you're getting revenue into your channel one way or another, even maybe through ads, then you know your channel has value. You know that what you have to share here has value. If you're bringing in revenue, it has value. And so at some point, I think you can sort of balance out, like, how much can I put into going out and getting brand deals so that I can recoup the cost of the course. Which leads me to the next kind of answer to the question, is this for me or not? Is, do you have time to put into the nurturing of brand deals this is probably the number one thing that holds me back from working with the brands that email me. I don't want brands to take up my whole content calendar and have all of my content already decided for me. I am much more of a go with the flow type of person. And so the time it takes to manage brand deals, meaning reaching out to brands or responding to brands and negotiating with brands and then like all that stuff takes time. And Justin's program basically walks you step by step through what to do and how to do it and what to say and what to ask and how to get your rates. But it doesn't necessarily account for the time and effort you have to put into it to implement what you're learning. And so if you don't have time to implement anything, to implement any new revenue streams on your channel, then I think you should definitely consider that if you're thinking about Brand Deal Wizard. Because it does take time. It does. And then you also have to create the content. And so for me personally, working with brands does add extra things to my to-do list. And I don't like adding extra things to my to-do list. I like taking things off my to-do list. So I'm very picky about brands that I work with and like what exactly are they wanting me to do for them. And that's okay. Like I'm allowed to be picky. You're allowed to be picky. So I just want you to take that into consideration. Justin's not throwing money at you and being like, here's a brand deal and here's a brand deal. He's showing you where to go to find them, how to reach out to the brands, how to find the right contact at a company, and exactly the best sort of path to getting into their inbox. And then also teaches you what to say when they do contact you. So it's like it kind of goes both ways. Reaching out to brands takes time. Having brands come to you and then having to sort of negotiate, communicate, schedule, do the content, wait for approval, all that kind of stuff takes time. So consider that. So I've talked a little bit about why I joined this program, which was like, I don't know, like last year, I think it was 2022. And I talked a little bit about why it was really helpful to me, how I got my return on investment, and I gave you at least one sort of thing to consider where it may not be the right thing for you. But I also want to mention that one of my favorite things about Justin's program is that he sort of reframes the idea of working with brands as it's not like a brand deal. It's not a deal. It's not a one-off thing. It's not a money grab. It's we can work together and have mutually beneficial results here. You get paid, they make sales or have awareness about their brand, or whatever it is that their campaign objectives are, and it's mutually beneficial. And he approaches it from that perspective, like a long-term relationship with a brand. So I hope this episode of the Thriving Creators podcast hasn't been too chaotic for you. It's a little bit off the cuff. I'm just sort of like free thinking here, free thoughts. If you're wondering if Brand Deal Wizard is a good investment, I think it's a great investment if you want sponsorships as a revenue stream. And if you're willing to put in the time and energy to make it work. If you have brands that are contacting you, if you've already been working with brands, I mean, I would say 100% without a doubt, it's definitely worth it, because I think you'll be able to find some creative ways to actually add more value to that partnership, which is good for you and it's good for the brand. So Brand Deal Wizard, take it or leave it. I say take it for sure, 100%. And again, like I said, I put a link down below if you've been thinking about adding sponsorships as a revenue stream to your YouTube channel, to your business. Use my affiliate link. If you want, I'll get a little kickback. If you don't want, that's fine too. I'm not really creating this to generate affiliate revenue. I just want to be helpful. I just want to share my opinion and be helpful, and also kind of like share something that really, really has worked for me over the last like year and a half that I've had this resource. If you have questions about brand deals, sponsorships, working with brands, adding sponsorships as a revenue stream to your business, leave them in the comments, or better yet, go ask Justin, because he is the brand deal wizard. He's the expert, and he can answer them much better than I can. Thanks for listening.